Hi, everyone. We're super excited to introduce the next cohort at AthenaDAO today. Um, this is our special cohort on reproductive longevity in Japan. Um, we're very excited to walk you through the market research that we have done and the areas that we're interested in reproductive longevity. And so to get started, we'll start with introductions. My name is Jenna. I'm a Science and Dealflow lead at AthenaDAO. I've been here over a year now, um, and my background is in molecular biology. I did my PhD at Brandeis University in Boston, Massachusetts, where I focused on longevity. And I noticed that reproductive longevity was often a missing piece of the longevity conversation. So very excited to work on this cohort.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna. So my name is Ines Illipse. I am also working with AthenaDAO as Science and Dealflow co-lead. I have a bachelor's in mathematics and a master's in entrepreneurship and innovation management from KTH in Stockholm, Sweden. And today I'll represent for you AthenaDAO, who we are and what we're working towards. So who are we? We are the leading decentralized community-driven platform focused on advancing women health research, education, and funding. Our core principle is that science comes first. We believe that prioritizing research and development will generate more clinical data, and more clinical data will generate more investment, and that will generate more therapeutics, and the therapeutics will generate more treatment options for women. So, what is the problem that we are trying to solve? The problem we aim to solve is the neglect of women health in biotech and pharmaceutical. Even though we make up 50% of the population and we are the largest consumer market, still women health is being overlooked due to significant funding and data gaps. However, there's a lot of demand for fertility research right now in Japan, as the government allocated 3.5 trillion yen to boost the birth rates. And even though the femtech space in Japan is growing, IVF success rate remains low. And that still creates a significant market gap in women research. So we do still need to fund more research in this area, as only 1% of biopharma research and development is spent on female-specific innovations. So we do need to fund more to get more treatment options for women. All right, so biomedical research is a long process, starting with discovery and fundamental research in academic institutes. And you often it's funded by public agencies. Many early discoveries fail to progress into actual products or companies, a challenge known as the valley of death, as you can see on the graph. And women health research is still in the early discovery phase, meaning we haven't reached this issue yet. So there remains a vast untapped potential. So at AthenaDAO, we use decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, model to fund, govern, and incubate early stage translational research in women health. We are decentralized collective of experts operating on a truly global scale with members from all around the world, including researchers, clinicians, business professionals, and legal experts. Together we collaboratively decide which project to fund. So what's our funding model? We use the IP NFT model, which is basically a sponsored research agreement with universities, which is minted on the blockchain as IP NFT. This allows our community to govern the research and participate in future crowdfunding for that research as well. So now I will hand it over to you, Jenna, where you will talk about an overview of the cohort in Japan and our collaboration.
Thank you, Ines. Yeah, so we're super excited to announce that we are doing this cohort in collaboration with Merito Network. They're a Tokyo-based organization. And so basically our partnership is that Athena DAO will bring our our science and Dealflow pipeline and our expertise in reproductive longevity, while Merito Network will help us coordinate, communicate with the local Japanese institutions. And so, why Japan? So basically, looking at the data, we can see that there's a story to be told about Japan where this is this is a country that often ranks number one in life expectancy. But despite that, the birth rates are falling, and you can see here that the birth rates have dropped off significantly since 2018, where the total fertility rate is now hovering around 1.2. Significant interventions need to happen to reverse this fertility rate in Japan. And experts are saying that we need to do this before 2030 to prevent population decline. And so there's still quite a gap in the East and the West looking at reproductive health. So looking globally at all of the femtech companies, most of these are still in the West, with 52% based in North America, over 23% in Europe, and Asia at 14%. So there's still a lot of growth that can happen in this space, especially considering the population of Asia is much larger than the West. And looking specifically at the femcare and femtech market in Japan, this market is currently 80 trillion yen, or about 500 million US dollars. And this makes up all areas of women's health, from general health care, fertility, pregnancy, and postnatal care to menopausal care. The market is growing at a rate of about 7 to 10% each year. Um, but when you consider that this is covering all areas of women's health, there's still quite a lot of room to grow. And we started exploring research opportunities in Japan last year, where one of our core members and Science and Dealflow leads, Stefano, visited Japan. This conference called Funding the Commons in Tokyo, and we've been establishing our relationships there ever since. And so moving on to the science for this cohort, basically reproductive longevity covers many different areas. And so this could be anywhere from like in the IVF clinic, new AI models or methods or even treatment options to look at egg quality, preserve the egg quality. Also, a newer area is ovarian tissue preservation, hormone therapies, senolytics, stem cell therapies, and also reproductive technologies that could help women conceive later in life, like in vitro gametogenesis. We're very excited about all of these all of these areas of reproductive longevity. And especially super excited to take a deeper dive in Japan. Just to give one example, Japan is home to leading researchers in vitro gametogenesis research. So this is just to highlight just a couple of papers from Dr. Saito and Dr. Hayashi, who truly are leaders in IVG, and just want to highlight that this is one really innovative way to combat declining fertility, or giving the option for women to conceive later in life, because this method does not rely on the number of eggs a woman currently has or the quality of those eggs, because this is a way to generate eggs outside of or starting from somatic tissues. So this is just one example of a truly innovative way to approach reproductive longevity. Other ways that we're really super excited about is ovarian tissue transplantation. So this was first observed in women who, or young women who had cancer, and their ovaries were preserved to preserve their fertility. But from this, people or researchers identified that if you preserve ovarian tissue, this increases the chance of follicles surviving for longer as opposed to just freezing the eggs. So, this observation has led to a new market of ovarian tissue preservation for the purpose of extending the fertility window and delaying menopause. And one of the funded researchers that we've worked with before, Dr. Joshua Johnson, together with his collaborators, he found through mathematic modeling that um, ovarian tissue transplantation could extend or delay menopause for 12 to theoretically up to 40 years. So this is huge considering this would extend the fertility window and delay the onset of age-related diseases that are usually seen um, with the onset of menopause. And when we say reproductive longevity, this is even more than just fertility, because the reproductive health also has a lot to do with just general health for women. A report before from McKinsey has shown that even though women live longer than men, most of this time is spent in poor health. And so, studies, research in the direction I'll explain here are also super important uh, in thinking of reproductive as it relates to the whole health of a woman. So, basically, uh, originally it was thought that just the germ cells were important for this phenomenon, but also if you deplete germ cells from a mouse model um, and transplant the young ovaries, if if you deplete if you take if you take young mouse ovaries and you transplant these ovaries into older mice, even with the germ cells depleted, this gives benefits to the health span. So this shows that it's not just germ cells that have this potential to extend the reproductive or extend the health span, but also the somatic gonadal cells, which is huge. And this offers like a new cell target for therapies. Also, very, very recent research has shown that there are, in fact, stem cells in the ovaries. Originally, it was thought that once we deplete all of our eggs, that there's no chance of generating any new eggs. And while this is still a very new line of research, basically this discovery of oligonial stem cells in the ovaries leads to a path where we could potentially stimulate these stem cells and potentially one day generate new eggs in the woman. So this would be huge for reproductive longevity as well. And so with that, we invite all researchers working in these areas, or there may be areas you're working in that I did not describe here. We invite you all to apply to our cohort on reproductive longevity. Um, Again, this cohort we're looking to work with institutions based in Japan, and we're looking to fund up to 3 projects with a check size of 25,000 to 150,000 US dollars. So if this is in line with your work, we would love to get in touch with you. And so we have our submission form here. So please scan this QR code to get our submission form. If you're a sponsor or wish to partner in another way to support our cohort on reproductive longevity in Japan, please complete this form here. If you have any questions, please contact me. My email is here at the bottom. You can find more information about AthenaDAO at our website and on our social media. And with that, we thank you for listening, and we're very excited to see the research that you submit.
Thank you.